Bonjour, 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 mon chéri. Comment ça va? Je m'appelle Ndwenche. Um, je très contente aujourd'hui. And you are listening to the Doing Life with Love and Magic podcast. I am so sorry. I'm practicing my very broken French on you, but Duolingo said, girl, we gotta keep this streak up. In case I did not make any sense or you're very few new to the French language, all I said was hello, mon chéri. I feel like that means my love. I haven't got there yet. I'm still very much in the beginning basic stages. And I just asked you how you are. And I hope that you're well. I hope that you are thriving. I hope that you are taking care of yourself. And I just introduced myself once again. If you didn't know where you are and who you're listening to the Doing Life with Love and Magic podcast. I'm your host, Ndwenche, and this is the space whereby I like to chat shit, where I like to share my life perspective as I navigate clumsily through my 20s, because the 20s really do be a very interesting time. It's where you learn so much about yourself, you break yourself down, pick yourself back up, build down all knowledge that you have about yourself, build it back up, figure things out about life. And while I firmly believe that as humans we never really stop evolving and learning about ourselves, I feel like this time is a very crucial time to do all sorts of magical, interesting things to set the foundations for who we are that we can build on as we, navigate through life. And, as I'm learning, I just honestly wanted to cultivate my own space whereby I share some of those experiences. And if there's anything that resonates with you, anything that you see that was like, that's cool, or you're just like, nah, I do not like that at all, then I'm happy. I've shared something, and hopefully you take something away from it. And if you don't, that's okay as well. Life is too short to be staying in something that doesn't, or listening to something that doesn't necessarily resonate with you. So yeah, very long intros aside. Where am I today? Today I'm in my room. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. It's giving rain. I'm pretty sure you can hear it in the background. I thought it was just very, nice for scenery, for vibes. It's very misty, it's very chilly, and it's kind of nice. It's been a little bit hot these last few days, so it's just nice to have some twilight type weather. Actually, earlier on, it just made me feel like watching the Vampire Diaries, which I have not done in such a long time. But I just figured, oh my gosh, that would be absolutely amazing to just, while I get my life together for the upcoming week, watch something that I used to love as a teenager. And trust me, I was obsessed. I read the books. Not all of them, but I feel like I read the first couple that we had in the library. And then I can't remember who did this for me. I feel like one of my friends bought me, I think one of the seasons. Or maybe was it the full season? I don't know. But back in the day, when we still had those DVDs and stuff, one of my friends bought me a set of the Vampire Diaries. I don't know why. I watched little bits and pieces of it. I watched little bits and pieces of it on TV when it was on, but I always felt like I wasn't allowed to be watching such things, and my parents would get super upset with me. And I say this because when I went through my Twilight phase, I read all the Twilight books back in the day. I don't know how I used to read 500 pages of a book, because quite honestly, it's a struggle to read a digital 200-page book these days. It's very terrible. But I promise you, back then, I was in it. I was I'm gonna read 500, 600 pages. That's nothing. I feel like I'd finish that thing in 2 weeks, because the stories used to get me. And dude, what I would give to get back into that era. I feel like even today would be such a beautiful day to be bundled up in a blanket, sitting outside, heater on, but like reading a really engrossing stories. Like these days I feel like I only have capacity for like terrible romance stories where I know where it's going. But like to read a book that like grips you, that gets you in your feelings, that gets you like emotional and so like, oh my gosh, what happens next? Ugh, would absolutely love that and would crave that like during weather like this. Have a little hot chocolate on the side. Oh my gosh. Speaking of which, I feel like I'm jumping from topic to topic, but I did something. I did something this weekend. So before we get into what happened this weekend, I'd just like to backtrack a little bit. And I feel like it's been a little bit of a stressful time. Haven't been to therapy in like 4 months, so your girl's like hanging on to the last bits of her sanity. And I think it's like quite tricky because like for the last couple of months, like last year, like I would go to therapy at least like once every month, and I haven't gone in like 4 months, which is yeah, it's been interesting. Granted, I did go for a little Reiki session. Doesn't fully count, but it was really nice to release some energy. But I feel like it's catching up with me a little bit. Like, was having deep conversations with the parents there. They're telling me they're concerned about my behavior, coping mechanisms, all of these things. And like, it's not that I'm doing anything hectic. I just like shut down when I get home because I'm exhausted. And sometimes I honestly think I'm going crazy. Like, is it wrong that when I get home, I don't have a lot of energy to like spend? Like, okay, I get it in terms of how that lack of energy can translate into a complete disinterest in someone's life. But like, am I wrong for feeling in like that way? I just feel like I struggle to fake that I'm full of energy and I want to hear absolutely everything. It's so horrible. But like sometimes I just want to be alone in my zone and like gathering my thoughts, and like I know that if I'm making space and time for someone to like truly be with them, then that's what I'm doing. And I don't know, I have like moments like these where I'm just like, oh, I really wonder, and I get obsessed over the idea of like having my own space, because I'm like, would that help our relationship in a way if I knew that, okay, I am going home to my own space like most of the time, but if I really want the company of my family and I just want to feel home, I can come through and feel at home, you know? I just feel like there's just so much that has made me realize how much I just really crave having my own space. Like, love my grandmother to death, but she was here over the weekend and they used my room to like house her for the day, which in essence is fine, but like no one told me until I got, well, technically my brother like told me, but my parents only told me when I had entered the doors of my home and I see my space is like completely rejigged and my room doesn't feel like my room. And it just does something to me. Like, it's so hard because I feel like, okay, I understand to a certain extent that this is your house. You pay the bills. You can do whatever the fuck you want with your space. You can do whatever you want. But I don't go into people's rooms and move things around, you know? And sometimes I wonder, like, is it just me that feels that way? Or am I ungrateful of sorts? Like, am I wrong for wanting to keep my space, especially when I know that we have a whole other space on the property where people can go stay and it's fine. But why does it have to be my room? And why do you have to tell me sheepishly when I'm through the door? Like, you wouldn't have told me. Like, if my brother hadn't told me, I wouldn't know until I'm here. Like, it just feels, I don't know, like a little bit disrespectful to me and my space and how I like things, you know? And I don't know, I just question sometimes, like, bro, like, would this happen if I had my own space? Like, yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of feelings and emotions of like really wanting that. And the tricky thing is, I just feel like, not that I'm not ready mentally for that sort of thing, I just feel like I'm not all the way ready financially. And if I could speed run being financially ready for it, I feel like I would be at least excited to give it a try, you know, and just see. But like, it's a huge financial commitment to move out on your own. Like, I won't pretend to not be aware of all of like the phantom costs that can come with potentially potentially buying your own property, because that's kind of what I'd want. I'd have to, like, I feel like I'd want to own something. Honestly, just for the sake of knowing it's mine. And like, no one can come here and tell me shit in my own space, in my own house that I paid for, you know? And I feel like there's still a lot that I don't understand about the process of like purchasing a property and all of that, but I just fucking wish sometimes that I had been smarter with my funds when I first started working, because like, maybe I would have my own place right now, like somewhere that I really like, instead of having to kind of fucking sacrifice kind of having to sacrifice a little bit based on what I think I can actually afford. And yeah, it just sometimes it feels frustrating knowing that you want to live in a certain way and there's certain things that you'd want to do in a specific way, but you can't do it because you're kind of at the mercy of somebody else. And on top of that, like, when we have these conversations, like, it feels like in a way you have to hold back a lot of what you actually want to say for the sake of keeping the peace within the household. And you know you can't fucking leave like tomorrow if you really wanted to. I mean, I could, but I feel like it would be wild. I feel like there's certain things that need to get done before I head in that direction. And yeah, I think my heart has just been feeling like I really want my own space. I would be doing this, and like, I think sometimes when I come home, it's kind of me and I'm like putting something on specifically to listen to. It's kind of reminiscent of me imagining what it would be like in my own space. Like when I prepare my lunch on a Sunday, it's like, this would be so cute if I had like a little music playing in the background. And you know, I'm like zipping around. In the morning I would have like cleaned all my shit. And yeah, like already in moments like that, I've started to like visualize myself within my cute little small space doing all of that. And I'm just really hoping that means like soon and very soon there will be some opportunity presented to me to take that on, but not in a way that feels like a financial burden, or like it would just like kill me financially, but in a way where it feels more liberating more than anything. I think, you know, if I had been wise before I took on certain what's the word I'm looking for, like certain fixed costs. Like for example, if I look at my phone, I don't think I had any business taking that contract. Like, I feel like it's way too much for what I actually want to pay for. And so I know that once my contract is over, I'm seriously going to downgrade, and I probably won't get a new phone unless I pay for it cash, to be honest with you, because I just feel like it's such an unnecessary expense. Like, I feel like a lot of that money could be going towards something else. I could be contributing it towards, like, more of the apartment savings, or it could be put towards like fucking groceries or something. Like, it's just, it feels, now that I think I've experienced it, I know that, okay, this feels a little bit ridiculous for me, and I don't think that I'm into this. like gym, I downscaled that when I was trying to pay off, not that I was trying to pay it off, like I paid off my credit card fully. So like that, I learned like there's really no business for me to be paying like an arm and a leg for gym. Like I just want to be able to have access to at least one gym close by with really lovely amenities that are like, you know, really cool. I can go and do my thing, get rewards, whatever it is, and be out. And okay, like I understand that part. Then I look at things like, what else? Like debt and shit. That I feel like once I pay off this last credit card, and it's such a small one, honestly, I feel like if I really wanted to, in the next 2-3 months, I think by the end of the year I'll be done with paying it off, which is such a lovely feeling, honestly. It really is. And maybe I really should prioritize that, because at least I'll know it's out the way, and then I can focus on the things that actually really matter to me, and like hone down on that, and like fucking like just do the damn thing. Like just thinking of contracts and cell phone things, I'm like trying to think, how do I get out of that like fast? Like can I not cancel that, pay off whatever is remaining? Because I'm also like curious as to how much is left to pay off. Like can I not like save a certain amount of money and then just pay it off, so then I know it's kind of like done? Or like, you know, pay a little bit of extra towards it, because I just feel like it's just annoying and it's unnecessary, and I don't really want it in my life. So I feel like it's just about getting strategic about like getting that out, and then I can focus on the things that really matter. So yeah, in a way I feel like maybe if I had got an apartment all those years ago, maybe my finances would be shit. And maybe I needed to have these like few financial lessons so that I can understand what it is that I'm trying to achieve financially a little bit more, and just be more like mindful of that. But like I just feel like my parents don't get it. They think I'm being selfish with my money, and because I don't want to tell them how much I earn, and there's certain things that I don't do. But I'm like, bro, you asked me to do specific things, I do them, and then if I don't do something, it's a problem. So yeah, that's just kind of the thoughts and musings around that subject matter for now. Like if anyone's going through that, yeah, I hear you and I feel you, and I'm sorry, and we are going to get through it together somehow, some way. But anyway, I tell that all to you just to tell you as well that just like work-life balance has not been work-life balancing. I think for the first time in a long time, like I feel the pressures of work and I feel stressed out. Like in the sense that some days I will literally come home and I'll work until late. If I don't come home and work until late, I'll stay at the office late, go to the gym and work there until like 8 o'clock, which is really not healthy. Really not healthy at all, you know? But I'm like, what do we do? Like, work needs to get done, and like it's a really busy season, and you know, it just kind of is what it is for now. Like we gotta do what we gotta do. And I've always been that person of like, I won't complain about it, I'll just get shit done. And yeah, it's tough being that kind of person, because sometimes you put yourself and your wellness at detriment. So the nice thing, or one of the things that I've been trying to think about a little bit more, is I've been seeing this thing on TikTok about dopamine menus. And if you don't know what a dopamine menu is, I'm going to try and explain it from what I understand of it. But it's just understanding, like, I could be wrong, but I think why those were initially established was to help people that have, like, Don't quote me, I really could be wrong. I don't know like where they came from, but when I was looking at some examples of them on Pinterest, like it seemed like there was some sort of a correlation between like establishing dopamine menus with people that like have trouble like concentrating on like one task at a time type of thing. I don't know, or just really helping with dealing with that sort of thing. Just knowing what are certain things and the time frames that you can assign to them to help, you feel good. Like, I know that they've got like starters and mains and desserts and something else I can't remember. And like the starters are like 15-minute little things that you can do to give yourself like a nice hit. Like, for example, maybe it's like taking a walk outside or whatever, and it's like the cute little things that you do in between your day to help you kind of cope in a sense and like focus on a specific thing and make you feel good. So I actually saw that from a friend of mine. Like, absolutely love her to bits and pieces. Like, I feel like sometimes she sends me these things and I'm like, oh, I needed to hear this, I needed to see this. And she's honestly like the best. But she sent me this cute little TikTok video on dopamine menus, and I was like, oh my gosh, I actually have to make this, like, because I just think maybe for the past couple of months I've kind of forgotten not really feeling 100% sure of what activities do I do that actually make me feel good outside of going to the gym, going to my pole class, or like sitting in the sauna or whatever. Like, what is it that we actually do to feel good around these parts? And it was just like, I did a quick one the other day and it was just really insightful. Like, a lot of like my mains and stuff like that, like, are focused on like being physical and active, like I said, a pole class or a gym session in the morning. Like, that definitely feels great, and all of that good stuff. And then like on like the dessert side, it's like every now and again getting my nails done, that feels amazing, getting my hair done, like, and one of the I can't remember what the terminology for this is, but one of the things was like, okay, like, what are some things that you do every once in a while that make you feel good? And one of them for me was like, booking these trips with my best friend. So literally throughout the course of the year, her and I have been talking about taking a little trip, and I can't remember what I was looking up at that time. And I saw this like spa treatment in this beautiful place like in the Midlands, and I actually texted her because I looked at all the prices. Like, I looked at the prices and I looked at like what came with everything, and like maybe a couple of years ago I would have been like, oh my gosh, that's so expensive for a spa occasion situation. But I was like, if I really like put my mind to it and put some money away for like a few months, like, I could make this happen. Like, it could work and it won't stress me out. Like, usually when I suggest these things to her, I find myself panicking and freaking out because I'm like, I actually don't know how to pay for this. Like, it's actually really expensive and it's taking money out of like the things that I plan for. But because I've kind of been in a space whereby I'm trying to train my mind to put money away for certain things, I think it's really helped me feel a lot better around my finances. Like, I know for birthdays, like, each month I put aside a specific amount of money. Like, I will say, actually, I just want to sit down on the floor, so if it sounds a little bit different, that's probably why. But I know for like birthdays and stuff like that, I think I feel a lot of stress around that because it feels like sometimes I feel a little bit of pressure to spend a lot on people during special occasions, and when I can't, it like freaks me out. And I've just come to realize, like, it's literally that sometimes that stresses me out more than anything. But if, like, over the course of a few months, I'm putting a little bit of money aside to put towards a pool that I can just grab money from and maybe add a little bit to that month's salary when I'm buying something, it doesn't feel so bad. So when it came to this trip, like, I had been putting a little bit of money aside here and there, and knowing that I was going to see Raven Lene in a few months, I was like, yeah, I definitely need to put that money aside. Update on that was cancelled. Do you understand how disappointed I am? I absolutely love Raven, and my brother and I were looking forward to going and seeing her in concert, but she cancelled, and it was very disappointing, and it broke my heart, and I feel like I still haven't fully processed it. Now I'm just like, now what am I gonna do in November? I had something like fun to look forward to. Now do I find something else? Like, I thought about going to Snow Allegra, but I mean, those tickets are very overly priced for my lack of preparation. So I feel like if I was in a better space, maybe, but no. But anyway, so back to my story about me and my friend, so my best friend. So I told her, I said, listen, I think we should do this. I said a nice time that I felt like I would have more than enough money by that point to book this trip, and I was like, I really want to do this, and I would be so excited to do this with you. And my homegirl, being my homegirl, is always down to entertain me in my stories when I get like inspiration. And she was like, yes. And me being the Gemini that I am, I think previously it would have freaked me out to commit to something like that. And then when it's time to act, it's like, oh. But knowing that I had paced myself and I'd set myself a target made me feel so much better. So you can imagine how excited I was for this trip. Like, so looking forward to it. Like, I think it was like a sigh of relief when the day came around. So basically, we had booked the Friday because the place, Indigo Fields, they've got this like beautiful like full day spa package, as well as like overnight accommodation. They give you breakfast when you arrive, lunch, dinner, and then breakfast the next day before you leave. And like, you basically over the course of the day get like 3 90-minute treatments. So like, it was just absolutely divine. Anyway, I'll get there. So picked up my friend Friday morning. We drove. We're a little bit like 5 minutes late, but they were super lovely, like super accommodating. And we had breakfast in this like underground like cellar with these beautiful drawings. And we had mimosas to kick off the day, ate some fruit, and then we made our way to like change into our robes. Then we like walked down this like cute little like pathway. Mind you, it's like just green grass. You cannot hear a single car anywhere. It's like literally in the greenery, like out in the middle of somewhere. You can just hear cows mooing, and like everyone is so friendly and so lovely. Everyone's asking you, how you doing? Where did you come from? Are you excited? Like, just vibes. So literally, our first treatment was like a head and shoulder massage. Literally, so you like literally sitting in a chair and you're looking out into like the greenery. No one's really speaking. You can just smell these like beautiful fragrances around. The cows are mooing, and like you're just getting this beautiful head and shoulder massage. And like I just started dozing off. And after that, they like asked you to lie down, and then they gave you this amazing facial with a lip like product that they add on top of it, and then they massage your feet. And like I like from that first second, like I was a goner. Then from there, we took a little, I'm trying to remember, where did we go after that? I feel like we took a quick little bathroom break, And then we chilled for a hot second before we walked down another beautiful path, saw some lemons lying down on the like grass and stuff, and then made our way to like a second location. And in that second location, they literally put on this like warm scrub on your body, and they just like scrubbed your body. Like I've never experienced a warm scrub before in my entire life. Like it was such an amazing like calming experience. Scrub you down, like absolutely delicious, absolutely like wonderful. And then after that, like we got given access to the sauna. Sat in the sauna for 15 minutes. Me and my best friend are just there like chatting away. And after the 15 minutes, then we went into the jacuzzi. And in the jacuzzi, there's our little like mimosa station set up. And we literally just had the best time in the jacuzzi, like chatting, drinking. Like it was just beautiful, like looking at the greenery around us. Like it was like, I feel like I haven't been pampered like that in a long ass fucking time. Then after we did that, we got spoiled with a breakfast. Like mind you, I feel like I have a phobia of being hungry. I don't know what it is, but like the night before I had gone and I'd like stocked up on some snacks, because I honestly thought like, no, maybe in between or like later on in the day we'd be like a little bit peckish, a little bit hungry, and like the last thing I'd want to do is for her and I to be hungry like while on vacation. Like that's just not cute. But we go and we have lunch, and like, I must tell you, they made this like bread, fresh bread with rosemary. We had like 2 little like rolls of it. I promise you, if I could have, I would have eaten both of them. That bread was so good. And then like you put the butter on it. Oh my gosh, like I don't think I've ever been turned on by eating a slice of bread before. Like it was delicious. Like delicious like you wouldn't believe. Like I was like, please show me who made this bread. I am taking them home with me immediately. Like that shit made me want to learn how to make bread just so I can make that bread specifically, because it was too good. Like with the butter on it, I'm like, are you being for real? Are you serious right now? Oh, absolutely fabulous. Then after that, where did we go? Oh, after that, had our actual lunch. And what did I have? I had a fish cake, sweet potato, the sauce. Oh, divine. Too good. We're still having our little shampoo pose on the side. Then it was after we had eaten, chilled for a little bit, it was time to do our last treatment for the day. And that was like a full Swedish massage. So we had the option of doing a Swedish versus like a hot stone massage. And I chose a Swedish because she had mentioned like circulation. And Bria Jones said like, no man, not circulation, but lymphatic drainage. That's what she had said. And Bria had mentioned that lymphatic drainages are very good for you. So I was like, I'll take that option, especially knowing that I'm feeling a little bit stressed. So, fuck. Literally, they had to drive us there. It was so nice, so amazing. Get there, there's like water dripping, like as in like there's like a little pond situation that's there. And yeah, we just climbed some stairs, and it's just this like secluded little cabin. It's like warm. Can I just tell you also, it was like a coldish day when we went. Everywhere we went was super warm. Like while you're walking around in your robe the whole day, they give you a hot water bottle to carry around with you. So like I was like completely impervious to the cold. I'm just like, I'm warm everywhere I go. There's like a heater everywhere, like fire everywhere. So girl, as soon as I like lie down to get the sweetest massage. Like I just feel like I completely passed, like conked out, like was transported to a different universe, because one minute my eyes are closed, next minute she's like, okay, we done. I'm like, no you aren't, girl, don't lie to me, we started 5 minutes ago. Get back here with your magical hands. You are lying to me expeditiously. So like, it was just so fabulous. And then we got driven back, and when we got back, like literally they gave us some truffles, and like I feel like it was like a shot of something, but it was delicious. Everything was just delicious, honestly. I don't know if I was just in a great mood. I was like, everything feels like, everything is delicious, everything looks amazing, I'm having the best time of my life, I don't want this to end. So now like I feel like she's one of like the owners type situation. She comes through, checks on us, how we've been doing, all of that, and her little sausage dog like comes running through, and I was like, oh my gosh, this dog is so cute. And what made it even better is that the dog like literally came to me and it stayed by me, and I was like petting it. I'm like, you are so cute, I literally want to take you home with me. And I'm just gonna sidetrack for 2 seconds, but I've really been craving having or getting a dog. Like really, really, like I think about it and I want to cry real tears. Cause like the same owner from the farmhouse where we went, she was just telling me about like some lady that has some dogs like in like one of the areas, and she was showing me pictures of the dogs. And I literally, yesterday when I came back, while I was like falling asleep, I was looking at pictures of these cute dogs, and I actually wanted to cry, because I'm like, I want one so bad, but I couldn't fully tell you why I feel like I need this creature in my life. Like literally, I was already imagining a life with my dog in my apartment that doesn't exist. Like I guess this is me manifesting. But I was like, oh my gosh, but what happens when I want to take trips overseas? Like, who's going to look after my dog? Petunia. My dog's name is really not going to be Petunia. I feel like I might call my dog like Lilo or Lala or something along those lines. Something like very cutesy. But like, I can just imagine the small little creature that I want to make my own. I've already pictured like, I'm going to get a car seat for it, it's gonna sit at the back, I'm gonna take it to lessons. Like it's gonna be very expensive, but it's gonna be so worth it, because this is gonna be my child and it's gonna absolutely love me, and I'm gonna have to discipline it sometimes when it's not behaving well. I'm gonna be upset when it poos and pees in places where it shouldn't be pooing and peeing. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, do I consider getting a place with like a mini garden so it can run around like when I'm not home? Like, do I need to like set out like an extra bit of food for it like during the day so it doesn't starve? Where will we go for walks? Like literally my whole life with this creature flashed before my eyes, and I wanted to cry, because I'm like, I want that to be my reality like so much. I don't know what it is about thinking about this like life with this animal that I definitely don't have in this apartment that I don't have, but it just brings me to tears, because I'm like, shit, like I feel like my life would be so happy if I just had that little creature to love upon and have it love me like so unconditionally. And even now I'm a little bit tearful, and I could hear sirens in the background, which is maybe something that's affirming. But yeah, shit. Someone's little sausage dog giving me attention for 5 minutes made me feel that way. I could see my whole life flashing before my eyes. But yeah, anyway, they made us the best hot chocolate, which I have not had in a hot minute, but it was so good. Like, you would have thought they like freshly made that like somewhere in the, like, I don't know. It was just also amazing. Anyway, then eventually my bestie and I got dressed. We left back to our cottage before dinner. And dinner, oh my god, I don't do like 3-course meals. I don't do them, but I was stuffed, like absolutely stuffed. We had starters. For my starter, I had a soup, a tomato soup with some freshly made bread, different from the one that I had earlier on. Otherwise, I would have like lost my mind. Then we had our mains, and for mains it was a roasted pork belly with like apple and something else. It was so good. I don't eat pork often, but that's like, I couldn't finish it because it was so good with some vegetables in between. Oh my god, like she wanted to like, I don't know, I didn't even know how to explain it. I was just like, oh my god, like, oh my god. Oh my god, that's all I can say. Every single time one of our servers would come in to be like, are you ladies happy? Are y'all good? You didn't finish your meal. I was like, guys, I don't have any more space to fit this food in, but it is so good. Like, I kept eating because I was like, this is delicious. This is amazing. What do you mean? Anyway, then for dessert, I had a creme brulee. And all in between, my best friend and I were like conked out next to the fireplace. I was like lying down on my side while we were chatting stories about life. And it was just nothing short of magical. And by the time we got back to the room, like, I was honestly like curled up in a ball, like ready to fall asleep. Like, ready to sleep, like brain is switched off, can't give like more than 2 sentences, but only because like my brain was like, okay, I've switched off, like this has been amazing. Then the next day it was like delicious breakfast. The fact that they had like kombucha out on the side and all these amazing beautiful things, I was like, shit, like this is living. Like, this is absolutely amazing. Like, this is the type of shit that makes me feel excited about life and happy. And like, why can't I do this more often? Like, is it every 3 months? Like, I plan something. Like, I already know in the holiday season when it's warm, I'd like to do a solo version for me, like at a beach house for a few days, where I get to cook myself something. If I want to bring a bottle of like wine with me, I want to. If I want to read a book, I'd love to. Like, that option is sounding so good to me, and I need to make sure it happens. But it was just so lovely, and I just had the best time. And I'm just so eternally grateful that I found a person that loves that kind of shit as much as I do. And every single time I suggest something to her that we can do, she's so down. And even when I forget, she'll remind me. She's just like, remember we said that we wanted to do this, hey? And I think the next one that I really want to try with her, which is going to be so interesting to see, because we haven't taken a trip out of the city with each other, like as in catching flights to different cities. It's going to be very interesting to see like how that plans out, but I would love to try that with her. I'm just feeling lately, I feel like I have this urge to travel and to see different things. Like, one of the things that are really on my wish list, and it's so hard because like traveling outside of this country is very expensive, but I really would like to go to Europe. Like, I'd love to go to Italy. I don't know why, but I'm just like, I need to go to Italy, like soon, and very soon, like at least for a week or something. Like, no one bother me. Fuck, like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it there. I don't know how to speak the language fully. I can only say cafe, which I know is a coffee, and I know zucchero, which means sugar. That's really all I know. But shit, like, I just would love to be in a different country altogether, like Greece even. Like, I just want to be somewhere beautiful and inspiring and just have like a a fucking an amazing time. Like, I think I just need to see something that's bigger than me, something to remind me that life is not all about the four corners of work, that it's not about getting to the next thing, it's all about enjoying the journey along the way. And I feel like this was just such a beautiful reminder of that. Like, just, meeting new people and have them hug you and like kiss you on the cheek and like tell you that they'd love for you to come back. Like, it just did something to my heart. Like, when people are just so wonderful towards you and you just get to enjoy the simplicities of life. Like, literally just sitting in silence and listening to cows moo made me feel so happy. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated a lot of the times, but I think what also really resonated for me was just finding, it doesn't always have to be on the grand scale of like traveling to different cities and places and spending a shit ton of money, but it's like, how do I get those types of feelings when I'm away in my everyday life? Like, what can I do to help stimulate that feeling of inspiration and awe in life when it comes to that, Like, we don't all, unless you're a freaking millionaire, have money to be jet setting to different places all the time. And also, I feel like sometimes, I guess, it can be fleeting or temporary, but how do you bring yourself back to that place when things are hard? Like, how do you remind yourself that, hey, it's not always like this. Like, let's take a step back. Like, let's do something to bring you back into that feeling of inspiration and happiness. And I don't know, I feel like in some ways this was meant to be that for me, but I haven't been really consistent with it like in the longest time. And I feel like maybe it's time for me to get back into that. Like, I know for a fact there's so much beautiful content that I took on my phone from that weekend, and I'd love to share it on TikTok. Not because I want everyone to be like, look at me, but only because like I really enjoy putting stuff like that together, And yeah, it's just finding ways of tapping back into that magic and that inspiration. It actually also just got me thinking. It's so weird. I feel like I've been in a very strange space when it comes to like dating and opening my heart to people once again. Like, I just feel like I get anxious when someone displays some sort of an interest in me. Not to say it's a bad thing if someone's interested in me, but like when someone is like very like lovey-dovey off the bat, it freaks me out. I don't know. Something to unpack in therapy when I'm back again. But when guys are like that, it freaks me out and it gives me like red flags, and then I'm just like, do you really like me, or do you think I'm just really cute? But I guess I'll share like a mini story. Like, there's a guy that I met at work, and he displayed some of that interest and then was giving very like lovey-dovey, relationshipy, like want to do all these things with you type vibes, and it freaked me out. It like actually made me panic and freak out. And then I think in me panicking and freaking out, I don't know, I thought I missed someone else that I used to have a bit of a thing with, and it never really went anywhere because he went through some shit of his own in life, And I just found myself like pining for this person for no apparent reason, really. And on a random day, I remember I hit him up and we spoke, and it was a really lovely conversation. I laughed and I was like, now I remember like why I liked you and why I low-key missed you. And then after that, like, that feeling didn't necessarily like hit the same when I would try and message a little bit here and there. And I don't know, I just realized that when I feel like I'm not getting the same energy from someone, it like puts me off a little bit. But yeah, I think through those couple of weeks of like, I guess in a way reconnecting with this person from the past and just realizing that he's going through his own shit and he probably does not have capacity to be starting shit with me. It just made me realize how much I want someone that wants me, someone that will give me my space a little bit but will make an effort to understand me, like, you know, someone that I can have fun with. And then it just, for some reason, I just felt myself like softening a little bit more towards this one who, you know, respectfully like listened to me when I said listen, like, I think you're cool, all of that stuff, but I think I'd like a little bit of space because this is feeling very overwhelming to me and I'm feeling very triggered by the amount of attention that you're paying to me and how you want to talk to me and all of that. Like, it just feels like a lot. And he was really respectful, but what I really like and appreciate about him though is that he'll still check in on me like from time to time, not in a way that's like, I don't think it's in a way to like take advantage of any sort of a situation, but I think it's because he genuinely like can feel that sometimes I put a lot of pressure on myself and I need someone that's going to check in on me, which is so lovely. Like, he'll just drop me a message to be like, hey, showing you some love, like, are you good? If you need to talk, like, just let me know. And I'm just like, that's so sweet. And I don't like that I like that. I don't like that you low-key changing my mind. Because I was dead set on like, I ain't trying to date nobody from the office. Like, that feels a little bit complicated. But I will say I do appreciate that he cares that much to know that, listen, this girl is feeling a little bit overwhelmed by life right now and I'm not trying to add to that. But I'll check in on her in a way that doesn't make her feel overwhelmed. Like, I'm not gonna like phone her 500 times or like creep up on her or whatever. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just appreciate someone wanting to kind of stay in contact. And yeah, just looking out for me. That was just like one of the nice things that I had noticed. And yeah, and I just wanted to share some good things to kind of gain perspective again in life. And yeah, wow, I've been talking for 51 minutes, and I hope that the story time inspired you in some ways, and just kind of encouraged you to again tap in and check in with yourself in terms of just knowing what is it that will make you feel excited in this life. And yeah, that was the most anticlimactic way to end off something, but I think I'm all talked out for the week. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me and listening to my stories. Please come back again if that's something that you do enjoy. And please take care of yourself. Like, there's only one of you. And we just want to make sure that we keep you happy and excited about life. And it's not to say that you need to be happy every single day. I think it's okay if you're not. Allow yourself to feel those emotions and don't ever let anyone invalidate how you feel. I really do hope that you're surrounded by people that care about you, that genuinely want to know like what upsets you about certain things in this life and are willing to listen to you. And yeah, man, keep it cute, keep it fruity, keep it spicy. I have no idea where that came from. But this is me signing off and hope to see you next week once again. Please hold me to that. And don't forget, everything that you do in this life, do it with love and a sprinkling of magic. I love and appreciate you so much and see you back again next week. And I think I just found the lid that I was looking for weeks. Yay. You love to see it. Okay, bye.